What's going on, everybody? So it is finally time for my weekly review. I already typed up a weekly report card and everything. The only thing that I got left is to just go over the trades. So I only took 5 trades this week. Nothing too spectacular or special. I know definitely on the 8th here, these 2 trades should have been, this one should have been a winner and this one should have been a lot bigger. This one, FNSR, well, whenever we get to it, I guess we'll go over that, but probably could have been a little bit bigger, maybe. I just remember it pulled back pretty hard. But first trade that I took was MU. Took my first opening range breakout trade of the year on it. Case points of 5, so long. Risking $100, making 20. Risk 20, make 20. So definitely looking at it already, it definitely looks like it's a pretty good setup. Ordering at the high of the day. On all the opening range, you want to see that, just that slight pullback, you know, and failed to move lower and come back and take it long over the high of the day. So it's definitely looking like a pretty good setup. My risk was 75. So slightly above VWAP, kind of like right in here. So I know I definitely want to see it over the whole number. Alright, so I'm in the trade at 94. I hit 95 at some point. Time and sales wasn't... There, you know, there's some big buyers in there, I guess. These 2 ones here. But after that, there's really not too much. It's moving up, but I'm seeing a lot of red. Then there's a ton of buying there. So it doesn't look like we ever actually hit the whole number. And we're just kind of struggling to really break out of this 90 area. I'm still holding, which is good. There's definitely no reason for me to want to get out of it just yet. So now we're coming back up, testing it for the second time. And then it starts failing, and then now we're back into the 80s, and it's at this point whenever I should start thinking about, alright, if it's not going to go now, then it's probably not going to go at all. So then I bail at 86, it looks like. You know, there wouldn't be a problem with like a re-entry on this trade either. You could just take it long over the break of the whole number since it struggled to get up there so much. But then MU just totally fails, never looks back again. And then that was the end of it. So I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, maybe I could have saved myself a couple of pennies on it, but I think for the most part I handled that pretty well. Really not too much to complain about there. It just didn't go. The only thing that, you know, if it did happen, it would just be a re-entry on the trade, and that would be about it. So then we got the 8th, we got the 2 trades on Kroger. I remember the first one here, I took a partial way too late, and on this one I exited the trade way too early. And FNSR was just a pretty decent trade. Alright, so we got Kroger, opening the day, pulling up a little bit, wanting to take it short underneath the low of the day. My risk was at 24.60, risking about 95, risking 19 to make 20. What was it? 24.60, so right at VWAP basically. So the tape's kind of moving a little fast. I know I want to see it in the 20s before I take anything. Alright, then we got the big move coming down. Definitely a really good start to the trade. Comes back and retests up about 50 though. Fails, and then we start moving lower again. Remember in this trade there was a bunch of big buyers there on the bid. In a lot of cases. Then we start making new low a day again. And then we get into the 20s, and now I should be looking to take a partial. But I'm not, and I'm not, and I'm not, and I'm still not. And then once it bumps up to 20, I click the button and I get filled at 23. So, I mean, I gave away, 9 cents profit there. On 250 shares, that's $25 that I just gave away. Now it doesn't really look like it's kind of stuck again. It made a new low, but then it popped right back up, and then I exit the rest of the trade close to break even where my entry was. I really want to see though on this pullback, I want to see the what the tape was doing. So we got huge sellers pushing it down. And then gets bought back up 15 cents really quickly. And it gets sold again pretty quickly. So the pullback happened really fast, but there wasn't any significant, like buying power behind it, I guess. I didn't really see any big numbers. I didn't see too much green, really. I mean, that's it. Like, those are the only, there's just nothing here. So maybe that was kind of what they mean by a shallow pullback, I guess. It came back, but nobody was really hitting the ask. Nobody was taking a huge size on it or nothing. So the second trade that I took on it was the opening range breakdown. Definitely a good setup. Risk was at 40, so I was risking about 30 cents on this one. So I was risking 145 on it. Same stop loss was up there, but I want to take a short low a day. What I really could have done is I could have moved my risk up. I mean, either way, it didn't really matter because I still took 500 shares on it. But instead of putting my risk at 24.40, I probably could have put it right where my mouse is right now, because you can kind of tell from time and sales that that's where it's really struck. Every time it gets up there in like the high 20s, low 30s, just starts getting shoved back down and it can't really make a new high. And I wish I would have recognized that. So there's the entry. Lots of red, definitely like to see that. Definitely not a really big breakdown though. Start getting the low 20s. I know, I wanted to see it about 90, 23.90 before I took anything off. And after I saw that green, I know I was kind of a little panicky about it, I guess. It's really not moving. I mean, you can see all of that red, but we've only moved, 6 cents. I guess 8 cents down to a low of 3. I got 2. So I mean, it's definitely a slow moving one. It's not a breakdown. It's just kind of slowly grinding down. And then I totally bailed on the trade like super quickly. As soon as it broke back to break even, I just completely exited the trade. But what I really should have recognized is that whenever I first entered, the stock was already struggling at 30 cents. So I mean, I could have at least given it to about 30, and if it broke 30, I could have taken, a loss, and I probably would have been 0 on the day instead of, up $47. But I guess that wasn't a risk that I was really willing to take. So I mean, I bailed on the trade super early. I mean, right now it's not even. It got to 24.19, and then I think that was it. And that was as high as it went on the pullback. So I mean, there was definitely a lot of room for this trade that I should have given it to work with, but I didn't give it any at all. I mean, the thing finally breaks down under 23, and then or 24, and then it's holding under 24. And then I want to see it in the 80s, and then there's the 80s, so I take a partial right about here. Yeah, right about there, and then, the rest of the trade is wherever I want to take the rest of the trade off at. I mean, that thing just went down forever. I might have held on to my last size in here, and then take another partial off, but I mean, if I remember right, this thing trended down the entire day. See all of that mess. That's just crazy. I mean, I for sure, if I had anything left, I for sure would have gotten out in this. So definitely the problem with that trade was just not giving it enough room. I think I was trading my P&L there. I didn't want to turn red on the day or really give back any of the profits that I just had at the open. So I just said, forget it. I'm getting out. Should have held on. So the third trade of the day was a bull flag, symmetrical triangle on FNSR. Risk of 21.40. And a 55. So risk of 15, make 15. So where is FNSR? Alright, so it was definitely a pretty good setup. So we got the bull flag to start the day. I mean, it's constantly above VWAP. It's holding above VWAP. It came back, tested here, failed to move lower, just kind of consolidating above it. Kind of tested it again here, and then had the real big move up after that, and that's when I knew that something might be happening. So I got the 1, 2, 3, and the 4, and I took it long at 55 over the high of this wick here. Wanting to see it definitely in a new high a day, but in the 70s if anything. And with the way the stock was moving, I really didn't expect it to make, a really fast move or anything. So there's 55, and I am in. Time and sales really actually wasn't on my side whenever I first entered, because you can see that giant red mess. There was really not a lot of people bought in with me on the same side. I mean, maybe here you can call that, but I mean, as for hitting the ask, there was really nothing. I don't remember how far the stock went against me. But I remember telling myself, I just took a trade where I exited way too early and I didn't give the stock enough room to move, so I didn't want to make that same mistake on this one. So I definitely was wanting to hold on to this one for longer, give it a chance to work. And we kind of retested 50, 49, and that was about it. And then after that, the thing really took off. See that huge seller there at 60. But once he was gone, the thing just started moving. And I didn't expect it to make a move that fast with the way that it was going previously. But I mean, it really did break out. So I took an early partial on it. Just because on a move that quick into the new high of day like that, I just didn't want to, you know, have it turn back against me, be like a fake breakout or something like that. I mean, we get up there, get back into the 70s where my profit target was. I'm already looking to take another partial. Gets into 69 and then I take it off. And then I just remember it just turns around from there. Turns around and never came back. So I mean I definitely gave away a lot of profits on this one too, but I mean most of the time, you know, whenever you get that's a really good breakout. I mean, look at the volume on the 5 minutes above all the other ones. It's a really good breakout. I would classify that as an A grade breakout. But I mean, after that it just totally turned around. There was just no follow through. There was nothing after it. So I mean, that was one of those just unfortunate trades, really. There's just nothing you could really do about that. I should be happy that I took off, you know, 66% of my position when I did. Otherwise, you know, I would have taken half up at 70 and then taken half a break even. I mean, I could have been like a $25 winner. I mean, I guess I should be happy that I got at least $50 out of it. So we actually did come back, retest the 20, and then we come back up to 60. And that was it. I'm totally out of the trade at that point. And then I think for the rest of the day, yeah, it trended lower. What was it? Yeah, I just broke through VWAP and then sold off. So I mean, don't really know what happened there. But one thing I do want to look at again is I want to watch the time and sales on this a little closer. So big sales there at 71. What is that? 2148. I don't know what that is. But I guess somebody got screwed. Big red there. So this was on the pullback. And then more red. So there's definitely nothing telling me that people are buying right now, I guess. More big red. I think the thing is, I'm not seeing any big green. I'm just seeing a bunch of red. Like, that's not big green. More big red. A little bit of green there. Got some more. And it was once we hit 60, that was the end of it. And after it failed to break 60, That's when it really took over. Sales really took over after that point. It's too bad. Just the way the trade goes sometimes. So the last trade that I took was on win. Very short, simple, easy trade. I was ready for it right at the open. What's this? Huh, my videos got switched. I didn't even notice that. Looks like I posted the end of day recap before the actual trade happened. Huh, that's weird. So I was watching win at the open. Definitely made a really nice pre-market move. And I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for exactly what I wanted to see. And then once it did it, that was the end of it. So we're pulling off at the open. Always wanting to take it long at the high of day. I remember telling myself too that maybe an entry on it would be a break above VWAP, because you can see how it just tapped it twice and then moved lower, tapped it again, moved even lower, but came right back again. Failing to move lower, I could take it long right now. Maybe with like half size or something, stop loss really right at break even. And then I just took it long as it made high day. I could have added the rest of the position on top. That's almost that. Well, that's a whole point. 50 shares. That's an extra $50 on the trade. I mean, win just took off, and there's really nothing else left. Took a partial slightly before. I do want to see that. So we're in 190. I'm wanting to see it above 191. I took a partial here. I think I took a partial because the day before, on the 8th with Kroger, on the first gap and go trade that I took, I waited too long to take my partial. So after that move, I think I just wanted to, just make sure that I took some off, just in case it decided to turn around against me. I really should have waited. I can obviously say that in hindsight, but I should have waited for it to reach my profit target completely before I took anything off. Yeah, and that was a good second partial though, because I can see on the time and sales. You can definitely tell whenever it kind of runs out. So we're seeing less and less green. We're in the 20s, we're in the 30s. We bumped up to the 40s, the 30s, and then it's kind of stuttering here. And then you see that big red cell there. And then at that point is when I clicked the button and got completely out. But it kind of bounced around a little bit after it. You can see it actually went back up into the 50s and then came back right down to the whole number. So, I mean, the spread got a little ridiculous at times. I mean, this thing just kept making new highs. It ended up getting up to, I think it was 192.70-ish. But I mean, these trades they're fast. So I mean, I'm not looking to hold on for, like a 4-point move or something crazy. I'm looking to get my profit target and, for the most part, get out before it really turns against me. But yeah, it got up there. Get up there and turn around a little bit. So it's a good trade though. Probably could have gotten 150 out of it because that first partial I took was a little early, but I mean, I'll take it. It was a good win, so not too much to complain about. Overall, it was a pretty good week. Money-wise, I guess. I made 188, gave 33 back into commissions. But I mean, the real takeaway from the week was that those Kroger trades, I mean, those were both really good winners that could have been a lot bigger. especially that second one that I only lost like what, $10 on. I mean, this should have been, a $100 winner. I mean, 2 days only traded 3 days, 3 for 5. Pretty good. I mean, I gave myself just a ton of stuff to work on. Well, sort of. The big thing that I got is working with new strategies and coming up with new trading plans, because really the only trades that I'm taking are right in the open. You can see this is my time of day here. You got the 1, you got a 3. This was barely a 3. It might have been a 2, which I think I took it at like 8:59 or 9 or something. For the most part, all these trades are happening in the first 30 minutes of the day, and I'm just not seeing too much else. So this is what my weekly report card. I'm gonna post it on Twitter. Take a look at it. I'll put a link in the bottom. But I mean, for the most part, it really wasn't a bad week. Definitely a good week. Hopefully I can keep the green going into next week. I know exactly what I want to see, what I need to work with, what I need to work on. So I mean, looking forward to it. So I will be back on Monday.